Hey, what's up, everyone? This is the Dattie podcast, and today is April 29th, 2024, and I am here with Florencia Peña from Simplicity Inc. out in Utah. What's up, Flor?
Hi, how's it going?
Happy to have you on. And just a little background. So I had met Flor 2 years ago at the Scalp show, right?
In Vegas, yes.
Yeah, the Scalp show in Vegas, you and Jova, and then you both came out here last summer, did some SMP training, and then also you did some microblading training, and that was great. But let's start from the beginning, Floor. So where did you grow up?
I was born in Argentina, but I grew up since age 4 in Utah.
In Utah. So you came over when you were 4 years old from Argentina.
Yes.
So you guys big Messi fans?
Yeah. World Cup, no one bug us.
I saw that. I saw the drone footage. I'm sure you saw the drone footage of the parade and the drones going down, just like millions of people. It was insane looking. It was very, very crazy looking.
Yes.
Um, so do you remember Argentina? Have you been back there since you were a kid?
No, but hopefully in these next 2 years, fingers crossed.
Okay. But you
Mhm.
do hablo español. I know that.
Oh yeah. My dad refused to let me lose that.
I think that's important. I mean, it's obviously definitely helped you here in the US,
Oh,
being bilingual.
yeah, definitely with jobs, helping other people every day.
Uh, did you, when you were, so I guess you're 4 years old. You're really just trying to learn to speak at 4 years old anyway. So was it easy for you to learn English? How'd that go?
Yeah, they as soon as we came to the US, they put me in preschool within like less than a month. I mean, at first it was kind of hard understanding, but I was able to catch it on like this versus my brothers who started high school right away.
Okay, so he had years, like he had to relearn everything.
Yeah,
Okay,
so for me it was easier.
that makes sense. I mean, being that young, they say that's the best time to kind of learn a language, right?
Yeah, so I've
Can you
heard.
write in Spanish too?
Yes, write and read.
Okay. And so, did your whole family come over at once, like mom, dad, your brother, or was it like in
Um,
chunks?
so my grandpa moved out here first, and then my dad came, and then a month later, my mom, my three brothers, and I came.
Okay, so
So
you have three brothers.
yeah, I'm the baby.
Okay. And so was that the reason you guys kind of went to Utah? Because I'm always curious, why do immigrants pick the area that they move to? Is it because you already had a relative out there?
Well, when my grandpa was moving out here, it was either Utah, California, and Arizona, and they kind of did pros and cons of every state. And I don't know if you've ever been to California, but it's huge. Like there's so many people out there. And then Utah was very small at that time. Now it's growing a lot. But they just wanted somewhere where it wasn't a desert, but there was still like mountains, kind of being able to remember where we came from. Because Nevada, it's all desert, no mountains, nothing. Versus Utah, you have a little bit of everything, kind of like over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that about Utah until you and Jova came, and I was looking up pictures and stuff. I was like, "Oh shit, they really do have the mountains out there." I guess
Yeah.
I kind of picture them all those four deserty states like the same, but it makes sense.
Oh no, we have mountains. Right, it's our background. As soon as you
Yeah,
wake up, yeah.
I love that. I'm a little jealous to be honest. And do you have any kids?
Yes, I have one.
And how old is he?
He's 4.
And how do you like being a mom?
Oh, I love it. It's fun. They even on your worst days, they make you laugh. They make you smile. They push you to keep trying something new. Um, I love it. Every moment of it.
I remember when you got your new place that you're in now and seeing the videos you were posting of you and your son kind of working together. And I thought that was really cool. Unpacking, getting everything set up, painting, all that sort of thing. So he's always
he
down to help mom.
Yeah, he loves coming. He's like, I don't want to go to school. I want to go to your work. I'm like, One day, but you have to go to school right now.
I know kids hate going to school. Who doesn't when you're a little kid? Um, s- so, what kind of work did you do before you kind of got into permanent makeup?
Oh man. So fresh out of high school, I was a receptionist at a trophy store. And then at that time they were only paying $7.
Yeah,
And, and then I was like, I need more. Like I'm 21. I'm not surviving off these little $200 checks anymore.
yeah.
And then I applied and I started working in the emergency department as a registration. And I did
What?
that for 4 years.
What's a registration? What does that mean?
So that means when you come into the hospital, we ask you, what's your name? What's your phone number? We get ID and we get payment. We're the first people you see and the last people you see because we have to put a wristband on you and just update your information.
Oh, you were at the front desk. Oh, okay, okay, that
Front
makes
desk,
sense.
but they also have people that go into the rooms, like the trauma rooms in the emergency department.
Yeah, and get all that. Okay, and
Mhm.
you didn't like doing that?
After a while, I loved the pay, but after a while, I started realizing that you see certain things and you take that energy home, and then it's like sometimes you'll randomly think about like a trauma patient and like
Mhm.
what you saw, and it's like, oh my gosh. And at the hospital, whether at the moment you don't realize it, but you start turning a little bit what's a good word, like emotionless, like you have no emotions. You, hi, how's it going, like, oh, I'm sorry you lost somebody, keep it moving, next. And I didn't like,
You get a little numb to it because you
yeah,
see it so much.
yeah, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that feeling of not feeling like no like compassion, like wow, like that person really just lost a relative, and I'm like, so what's your name?
I know it's terrible, but if you got emotional and took every single because you're seeing there see so many people, if the doctors, nurses, the staff started giving their own personal emotion and invest, how they feel into it, they probably go crazy, right?
Yeah, there's, after you see stories about the medical field, it's actually really sad. The what doctors experience and nurses and anybody.
So so you're working as a register. How did you then did you go from there to start doing PMU? Were you working both jobs? How'd that work?
So I was working in the hospital, and then I found out I was pregnant. And at the hospital at that time, I was working a lot. I was working like 40 plus hours every 2 weeks. And it was draining. And I didn't want to miss out once I had my baby, just because how was I going to manage, taking him to daycare, every day, like struggles with him. I didn't have a partner. He hasn't been present throughout like anything. So at that time, I was really concerned how I was I going to do it on my own. And I started looking into what can I do. I looked into nails, lashes, permanent makeup, or cosmetology. I compared like how many hours I was going to need to be able to work at that service. And that's why I chose permanent makeup, because it was fast learning, and it required less tests with the state.
And you get to be your own boss, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
shout out to you for being a single mom taking care of business, not only running your business, but taking care of your son. It's really a difficult thing to do, and I think people underestimate the intricacies day in, day out of all the shit single moms really have to do. So good for you for
thank you.
stepping up for that.
Thank you.
Um, so you get in. So what did you first do? Did you get your eyebrows done? Did you get anything done? And then you're like, I'm going to learn this, or were you just straight up researching?
I was researching. I was on Google. I was on well, at that time there wasn't that many options, but I was on Google, Instagram, kind of looking at all the options I could find, and then I came across Jova and I signed up with her.
Shout out to Jova.
Yeah.
And what was your training like with Jova?
It was fun, and off the bat, I noticed how she really made a connection with me, like actually wanted to get to know me. not just as a student, like, okay, you paid me, bye. Um, we we built like a friendship, and to this day, we're friends and we text every day.
I noticed that. I noticed
Yeah.
that. And did you so you train with Jova, do you start working at her studio or how does it go? Walk us through it.
So I got trained with Jova. At that time, she was with another partner. After I got certified in all my services, then Jova moved to another location. And so, um, sorry, let me stop there. So I learned everything before I gave birth. Okay. Once I, at that time that I gave birth, Jova moved to another city, and I went with her. So that's how it kind of worked out. I took a little bit like a 3 month break, and then I went with Jova to her new salon.
Was the break, you healing from having the baby?
And it was hard. Just because again, like I went to the hospital, gave birth by myself, then went home. And it was just, I was very sleep deprived, like no sleep at night. You know, the newborn stage.
Yeah, yeah. Of course.
There's so much that goes into it. Breastfeeding. I just didn't have energy to
No,
go
completely
take a,
justified. I understand. But that's why you took the 3 months off is cuz, and spending time with the baby obviously.
yeah. And also because I didn't know, it was also new to me. I didn't know how to really manage my time.
And that was cool. So it was cool that Jova basically brought you on knowing, hey, she just had a baby and she was willing to bring you on and kind of mentor you.
Yeah. Yeah, she definitely helped me out a lot. And at that time, I was having a lot going on too.
Yeah. And how did you get through that? Like, how did you manage your time during that situation?
Well, looking back at it, I feel like I just went, like, I just dealt with it. But
Yeah.
again, it takes a village to raise kids. And I'm so thankful for my dad and my mom and my, my two brothers that are here in the US, that they were also helping me out as well.
So they were helping you like watch the baby and all that sort of thing in the
Yeah,
beginning.
yes. Sometimes I was so tired from being up all night. The babies they wake up whenever they wake up. And sometimes I was so tired from the night before. In the morning, my mom and dad would take the baby or my brothers just so I can sleep for a few hours or shower or eat something. That way I wasn't so burnt out.
No, I get it. And you're learning a new skill and touching people's skin is a whole different it's very different than sitting on the computer and typing shit in. I know that.
Yes, there's
I,
so
I
much that goes into it.
and so how long did you work with Jova? How did that go?
um, I'd say like 2 years and a half, roughly.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you like did you rent a chair? Is that kind of how you did it? You rented a chair there?
Yes, I did booth rent with her, and she had 2 rooms at that time, and I was able to be in one room, but have my like half the room and
Okay.
have the bed.
Was it hard for you to get clients in the beginning? How did you do it?
Yes, it was hard, especially because if you don't have a lot of family um, or cousins here, and I have older brothers, they did not want to get their eyebrows done. So it was very hard at the beginning, but I would post in Facebook groups. I would join cities that were near me or even max like an hour away. And I would put, hey, model call. I'm trying to build up my portfolio, discounted price. And that's how I built myself.
Wow.
Slow but surely.
So you weren't paying for any Google ads or anything like that? You were just doing like posting for free on Facebook ads?
Yes. And to this day, I'm doing that, and it pays off because I can't afford Google ads. Just everything's so expensive right now. So I just have to figure out different ways. And I also would make flyers and take them to coffee shops and hang it on the bulletin board, the old
You
school
see
way.
you see that, people? So if you're starting out and you don't have much money and I stopped using Google Ads about 2 years ago because I was getting charged, $1,000 a month, sometimes 1,500, 2,000 for clicks. What Floor is saying is you can actually post, requests or offers for your services for free on Facebook in different groups around your neighborhood and around your location. And you're
Yeah,
saying you're still doing it and it works.
yeah, it really does. I even joined single moms in Utah. I get a lot of people that way. Just because with right now everything's so expensive, you have to figure out different options.
I agree. I agree. And what we're selling, and you have more services than I do, but what we're selling is it's a luxury item, right? It's a luxury item. People don't need new eyebrows. They don't need a hairline. They don't need a micro tattoos or lip blush. They want to get it. So they have to choose, am I going to invest in this? Am I going to charge it on a credit card or am I going to miss a car payment? So it is tough right now, especially with the economy being down.
Yeah, really.
Uh, um, so you're doing PMU, you're working for Jova for 2.5 years. When do you decide, hey, I think I got enough clients, I can go out on my own? Because obviously it's probably going to be more expensive going out on your own.
100%. So at that time, I was also an apprentice, kind of learning how to teach as well under Jova. And at that time, Jova was moving an hour away from where I live. So it was kind of a decision like, do I start driving an hour out every day, or do I just take the move and finally get my own place? And I just took the risk. It was either drive an hour or drive 15 minutes. Which one would I prefer?
Yeah. And I mean, over time, the amount of gas you spend probably end up getting closer to, and time. And you got your son, obviously, you don't want to miss that time with your son.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
you got your own place.
Mhm.
When did you do that?
It's going to be 2 years now.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Time flies.
Congrats on that. Congrats on that. And I mean, you've been moving up. I mean, I've watched your progress over the past 2 years, and you've been getting better and better, diversifying and getting more recognition. We talked about it in person, but you were on like a local TV network, right? How'd that happen?
They contacted me via Instagram. It's like Good Morning Utah, and it just happened so fast. And next thing you know, I'm on the news.
You're on TV, legit
Yeah,
on TV, cable TV.
yeah, it was an awesome experience for sure.
We'll pull up the picture here so everyone can see it in the file
Oh.
here. Put that up. Yeah, I thought it was so cool. I was like, "Oh shit," because you were kind of showing behind the scenes and stuff, like the side shots of the can. I remember seeing side shots of like the chair where you guys were going out and stuff.
Yeah, it was really cool. I'll never forget. And because of that, people were searching me on Google, and I was
Okay,
able to get clients that way as well.
so it did help you. It did help with
Yeah,
sales.
yeah. Any marketing really helps.
One thing I noticed about you when you were here doing microblading is you're a perfectionist, and I think that's very important for people getting into the PMU industry. I liked your technique, and you have the one of the best I've ever seen it with customer service, making the person feel comfortable. How do you think that happened?
I just kind of look at it as how would I want someone to treat me or my face, And we're touching someone's face, and I do removals as well, and seeing how some clients really like lose their confidence, or like just they just feel so like not confident at all. It like, I don't know, it makes me feel really sad. So I try to go the extra mile to really make them feel good, because one, they're super nervous because they've never done anything to their face. So I just try to make them feel as comfortable as possible, because that's what I would want for someone to
Agree.
do.
I agree. I agree. It's very important. Treat them how you want to be treated is
Yeah.
the best way I've heard of it. And so, what are all the different services you offer right now?
Oh man, a lot. I do eyebrows, lip blush, scalp micropigmentation, teeth whitening, henna, brow lamination, tiny tattoos, removal, permanent jewelry. Yeah, those 8. And I'm learning
Wow.
how to do 3D areola.
Yeah, and you're gonna add the areola to it.
Mhm.
Good for you, good for you. That looks hard. I watch some of these girls do it, I'm like, "That looks" it's impressive, but it looks hard to do. It really
Oh,
does.
I know. I'm scared, but I'm excited at the same time just because it could really help so many women out.
Oh, yeah. How'd you get into the tiny tattoos? Because I did notice you doing that. How'd you get into that?
Well, I'm always trying to add a new service every year, and at that time that was what was trending. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm up for the challenge, I want personally, I like to keep my mind occupied all the time. I don't like staying still. Just just because I feel like I need it. But at that time, tiny tattoos was popular, and I just took the risk. I'm like, let me learn something new. Let's see if I'm good at it. Let's see if I like it. Let's try it out, and it's really fun.
It's didn't know, and you just kinda just gave it a shot, got some friends or family or somebody to be guinea pig, and you did it, or did you do it to yourself?
Yeah, I got well. My brothers are like, no, work on 100 people first, and then you can come. Then you can tattoo me. um, but I got a lot of friends to build my portfolio.
Wow, wow.
Mhm.
That's, and were you doing it for free at first?
Yes. So
Yeah,
I always try at first. Yes, I try to do it for free, like just to practice. But I did practice on fake skin before I touched somebody because
okay.
it's kind of scary.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, they're turning out good. I saw them on your page. Yeah, they're turning out really well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Um, so how do you feel about the future of the kind of like the PMU world? Because as it looks like it's continuing to grow, how do you think this is going to kind of play out in the next 5, 10 years?
Oh man. I just feel like every year it keeps growing, but in a fast speed. I honestly don't feel like it's going to go anywhere.
Do you think that it's going to hurt you? I mean, you're pretty established now in your area. Do you think it's going to hurt your business? The more girls that are training?
To be honest, no. Only because I feel like there's clients for everybody and we all have our own styles. And I feel like eyebrows is something that will never go out of trend because it's always been like throughout the years. That's like the main thing girls worry about.
I agree. I mean, it's on your face, so you have to look at it every day, right?
Yeah.
How do you let me ask you this, Floor. So, how do you kind of manage being a single mom right now and having your own business? Like, is it hard? What advice do you give to other single moms out there that want to get in business?
Oh, it is hard. I'm not even gonna lie. It's hard. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of crying days, but seeing that I don't the smile on your kids every day when you're able to buy them like their favorite toy, like it pays off. The best advice I can give anyone who's a single mom is just don't worry about the rest. Don't worry about the other partner. Just enjoy your baby because they grow so fast. And if I could do it, you could do it. It's really you can manage both a business and your children at the same time. It's easy. It gets easier.
I like that you said just focus on, the child and not the person who's not helping.
Yeah.
Um, because I think that is important. They do grow so fast. I mean, just looking at my son and my daughter, I mean, the time does seem to go fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're only going to be little for a small amount of time, under 5, under 6 years old
And it
when
goes
they're
like
co-
this.
when they're still completely innocent, right?
Yeah.
Eventually kids grow up and they get their own personalities, thoughts, and behaviors. But when they're all little, all kids are innocent.
Yeah.
They don't know any better.
It's it's such a fun age, but I feel like in a blink of an eye, it's like, oh my gosh, you're 10 now.
I saw someone that you had trained had passed away. Do you want to touch on that? What happened there?
Yeah, we can touch about it a little bit. So I um when I first started training on my own, my second student, her name was Liz. She was my second student ever, like under me, under my name, and we built a relationship, because of that. She did work here. She booth rented here every once in a while, and yeah, tragically, she passed, and she was 21 years old. She was so young.
Yeah, that was, and you put together a fundraiser for her and everything. I thought that was super nice of you. That was
Yeah,
very nice.
my team and I, we have a group chat, and we're like, and that same day that we found out, it's like, okay, what can we do in these next 24 hours? Like, and that's how it happened.
That's amazing. Very cool. Thank you for stepping up for her, and I'm sure her family really appreciates that. I don't know her, but I mean, I saw she had kids. That's terrible.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine, but it definitely put things into perspective. Like, okay, like just planning ahead. Like, say something happened to me, like,
What would you
I,
do? Yeah.
yeah, like, I don't even have a savings. I don't have. It
Yeah.
definitely made me get more organized for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree. It's scary. It's scary to think about, but I think it's important to consider it. This is a possibility. This could happen to any
Yeah,
of us at any time. Crazy shit happens.
yeah, sadly.
And just planning for the future is important, especially when you have kids. If you don't have kids, I mean, obviously you want to plan a little bit, but when you have kids, it's high priority, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Just especially when they're so young like that.
Yeah. So, what are some other tips you would give to up and coming PMU artists? That you things that you mistakes you had made in the beginning that you wish you didn't or that you knew sooner.
Mm, If I'm being honest with you, if you're trying to get into the permanent makeup world, definitely do your research. Don't believe everything you hear or read on social media. There's so many people that say you're gonna make 100K your first year. Yeah, your first month or in a week you'll make your money back. That's a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they at first I was like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna be rich, like no, that is a lie. The best advice I could tell people is do your research. Don't just go off one academy that you may see. Have at least 3 to 4 options. Do the pros and cons on all of them. Ask them, what am I going to get in my course? What am I going to have to invest in after my course? I feel like as a newbie, a lot of newbies don't even ask that at all. Like what they'll have to invest after their training.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like people underestimate the challenge of bringing in new people because I think that's our biggest challenge, right? Marketing, getting the word out there. Because I think there's plenty of people who want the services,
Mhm.
PMU, SMP. It's just getting the word out there saying, "Hey, I can do this for you. Come to me." Is
Yes.
my biggest challenge, and obviously, we all have to deal with that. So, do you think
Yeah.
that's one of the things they do? They kind of underestimate it.
Yes. They they definitely do. Mhm.
And so, how often are you training people? Do you have set dates, or is it as needed when someone contacts you? How do you offer your PMU training?
I try to do it once a month.
Okay.
Once a month, and I have certain dates I do. So if someone messages me, I tell them I have these dates available at this time. But definitely once a month before. I try to do it before August because that's when
Okay.
school season starts. That way I can focus August, September, October, November with clients.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so, for training, do you what is all included? How many days is it? If you want to give prices, go ahead. Like, what would you say to anyone who's considering training?
If to anyone that's considering training, definitely ask how many days. I personally separate all my trainings. So, for example, if someone wants to train on brows and lips, I separate the both because you cannot learn both techniques in 2 days. And I've seen that on TikTok. The other day, I saw a girl, she does trainings. She's killing, beautiful work, but she does trainings in 3 days and she teaches brows and lips. But I feel like there's so much that goes into eyebrows alone that it's overwhelming. I personally do 4 days because I feel like 4 days is good, but I also offer free additional training after if they want to practice more with me. Um, but yeah.
So if they want to, so after you're done training, they'll come in and they can shadow you as well.
Yeah. Yes. They
Okay.
can shadow me, or we can. I always ask them if there's something you feel like you need practice on, let's set up and come work together at the shop. Even if it's no shadowing, it's like one on one, us working on fruit, on practice pads before. I just don't want to leave them by themselves if they don't feel confident enough because we're working on someone's face. So I want them to take it serious.
Oh yeah, and they should. And I can vouch for Flora that she will. I mean, my sister Kelsey did train with you, uh, and Jova, and whenever she's reached out, you guys will respond and help her any random question she has. So we
Yeah.
appreciate that. And people, if you are looking to train in PMU, I highly recommend Flora. She's great. She breaks it down. I've watched her do the whole process, and she's right. 3 days with just eyebrows is a lot. There's so much in there. Just the mapping is just so tedious and
Yeah. That's
painful.
like one thing, not including color theory, needle knowledge, like hair stroke.
Numbing.
Yeah, the numbings. It's just so much that I feel like 4 days is even not enough, but it's a good start.
I agree. I agree. So how can people find you, Floor? What are your contact information?
So they can find me on Instagram or Google. So if it's my personal Instagram, it's Flor Does It, or Google, it's Simplicity Inc.
Okay. And do you have a Simplicity Inc. Instagram as well?
Yes, we do, and it's Simplicity Inc.
Okay. And if someone wants to train with you, they can just call you, DM you.
Yes, and then we can discuss options.
Love it. Is there anything else you want to call out, Floor?
Not that I could think of, but if you have anything, let me know.
Yeah, I highly recommend her, people. Highly, highly recommend. They're beast, super talented, super knowledgeable, and she will help you.